people sent me like the scammer's playbook.
Right.
And they were like, they will claim to have been an interpreter that worked for the U.S. They will start asking you for money, increasing a frequency.
Did your heart just like sink into your stomach?
Yeah, to be clear, I didn't put my penis anywhere. The
rubbed,
ether or otherwise.
You rubbed your penis in the
safely
ether.
secured
Stapes,
under this small dog.
You came into Aceholes and rubbed your penis all over the ether.
Aceholes with Nikki and Caitlin.
Hello, welcome back to Aceholes. I'm one of your Aceholes, Nikki Limo.
And I'm the other acehole, Caitlin Komeski.
And we are joined by the one, the only, the very funny. You've seen him on Twitter. You've seen him commentating on various poker events. The one and only Joe Stapes.
You probably have me muted on Twitter. I think is where I live for most people, but that's okay. Yes, thank you for having me. Happy to be
Yay!
here.
Thanks for being here.
So am I not an acehole? Is that only...
You can be an honorary acehole.
I'm a jack in the hole.
You have to finger your acehole in order to be one. We've both done it. It's
We've
the
already
initiation.
started with the innuendo. Okay.
There is a very strict hazing
Very
procedure that we go through to earn the title of aceholes. So
Which of these do I like the least?
Well, you are here in Vegas. You're not normally here in Vegas.
Not normally. I think it's going to be happening more, though.
Yeah?
More and more.
Okay,
Yeah,
tell us about that.
Well, the North American Poker Tour is coming back. And our first stop is at Resorts World in Las Vegas. Look at me. I got to plug in the first 5 minutes.
Right?
Can you
oh
believe
my
this?
gosh, hire this man.
So that's like, I think there's going to be more stuff happening in Vegas back after more than a decade. So there's that. And yes, I'm here for the World Series of Comedy.
Yes.
I didn't make it out of day one of the World Series of Poker, but I did make it out of day one in the World Series of Comedy, which is genuinely way more important to me.
Would you say you studied the comedy GTO charts more than the poker?
Yeah, I'm in there. I'm out in the lab. Is that what they say?
Yeah,
you're
drilling puns.
Yeah, exactly.
Grinding in the streets.
I'm just at open mics with 0 people at them. Doesn't matter. Just
smells like beer.
Studying pre-show ranges, I guess. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Have we got all the juice out of this yet?
I think we have.
Workshop in the crowd. I did want to bring up because I was looking through your Twitter and you had like a very like feel good story, like feel good of the week. Thank you for that. Feel good. I felt good reading it. I contributed nothing to it. And
you know what's fucking great is that it might be you guys know you're on social media that like you'll think you're gonna post something that's bulletproof. Like there's no one that can say anything bad about this. There's no one who can like try to make me feel stupid about posting this, and then they find a way. So for this, I was certain I would get at least one person who would be like, oh, wow, like, look at you, like, taking credit for your good, or just finding a way to piss in my cornflakes.
Yeah.
And it hasn't happened.
Nice.
No one has said anything rude
Is
or
he challenging
mean
us?
I think
this
is a
yet.
challenge.
I think I found the one thing that people are like, he's got us there. Like, I guess he is a pretty decent person.
So you found this human being, this person, through a friend.
Yeah, so
community.
Owen Lucanen is a guy that used to be in the poker media, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to go be an author, and he did. He wrote like a bestseller, and he's written like a series of like mystery and sort of spy novels, and so I follow him on Twitter, and he tweeted one day about this guy named Khalid who had been an English language interpreter for the Americans in Afghanistan, and when America split, the Taliban was like, cool, we're going to fucking kill everybody now that helped the Americans, much the way many countries would if you helped an invading force, right? Like you're not exactly like your
hero.
favorite person of the side that eventually wins.
No, I mean, I've seen Avatar. I'm familiar with the concept.
There you go, right. Avatar. There's actually a movie that just came out about this exact situation called The Covenant, directed by Guy Ritchie and with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I haven't seen that yet.
And I watched that movie in the midst of all of this. And if you want to talk about my ego going out of control, this is a movie about a soldier who like goes back for his interpreter. He gets like blown up. The soldier does. The interpreter saves his life. He wakes up in America. And he's like, I got to go back and get this guy. Like, we got to get him out of there. And so he personally goes over and like hires like mercenaries, and they shoot their way out. My story, I just used a credit card.
Yeah,
That's
you know what? That's a powerful weapon.
Exactly.
Plastic, American made.
My weapon of choice was a 30% APR. So yeah. So I just thought that I would kind of just dropped. I give this guy. I won't talk figures the whole way through, but my first time I gave him money, I just sent him $250 Western Union, figuring in Afghanistan that would go a long way. Because it's like enough for a couple of weeks worth of food. If you are smart about it in this country. So I figured, and he sent me photos of he used the money to buy a school uniform for his daughter. Back when his daughter was allowed to go to school. I think they made that change shortly thereafter. And so, and I was like, oh, this is great. Well worth it. Cool. And to be honest, it could have been a scam. I don't know. But I was like, this guy's sending me follow-up photos. Like when they send the picture of the elephant or whatever, they're like, you saved 1 square acre of rainforest. Like, here's Trumpy. Like, I was like, cool. Like, I can't verify this, but whatever. The good news was that to send it via Western Union, I needed the guy's passport information. I needed to send it to Afghanistan. So I at least knew it was going to the person who he said he was and to the country I thought it was going to. A little while goes by. He hits me up again. He's like, hey, things are really bad here. I'm sorry to ask. Can I get, and I said, sure, no problem. It was like, maybe $200 this time. And then he was like, hey, I'm trying to apply for visas to like get out of Afghanistan. And then I was like thinking to myself, am I really going to put my money where my mouth is here, so to speak, as like, if this guy wants to come here, would you let him live with you? Like, would you? He didn't ask me.
Yeah.
But I definitely was like, what would I do? And I was like, I think I have to do it. I think I have to. Look, I have the space. Like, I got a little guest unit at my house, right? It's not like it would be like a
flex.
1-bedroom apartment, right?
In LA, that's a flex.
It's got a hot plate, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm really just sort of get after it. So I was like, I think I'm going to do it. And then he was like, oh, it's impossible to get a visa to the U.S., so I'm applying in the UK. And I was like, thank God no one called my bluff on that one. And then he was like, oh, but the application fee costs this and whatever. And during Monte Carlo, I had kind of was just overextended cash-wise, and I put it out to the community. I was like, hey, I can't promise that this isn't a scam, but if anybody wants to help, I think he needed like $1,500, and we raised something like $2,000 under an hour.
Okay.
And I wanted to pay for it for him, but it became difficult to be an American trying to use an American payment processor via Afghanistan for something in the UK.
Yeah.
My bank was just like, no. So I ended up having to send him the cash again, which I wasn't crazy about. And then like people sent me like the scammer's playbook.
Right.
And they were like, they will claim to have been an interpreter that worked for the US. They will start asking you for money, increasing a frequency.
Did your heart just like sink into your stomach?
Yes. And then I started thinking about like, what do I have? Okay, I know that I sent it to that guy, like that he is who he says he is. He sent me a picture of his ID for when he was an interpreter, although I guess that could be faked. And so when he asked for the next chunk of money, I was like, I can't put this on other people anymore, just in case. Like, this is my thing.
Like, if it's my scam, I'm gonna go down with the ship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So for this one, I was like, hey, I really want to pay directly. It was like £1,600 or something for the school tuition fee or application fee, whatever, vaccination, something. And he said, yeah, sure. And he gave me his email address and his password to his email. So I could click on the link in there. And I saw all the correspondence from University of Kent in the UK. So now, if he really was faking it, he went to a lot of effort. Like there was a lot of back and forth between this thing, and I saw a certificate, whatever. So we did that. I felt better about it at that point. I felt more confident, and he was like, "This is the last money I'm going to need, I promise." And I knew that wasn't true. Whether this was legit or not, because I was like, how's he going to get there? Like, he's not, there's just no way he's going to be able to like cough up money for a plane ticket if his family's like literally starving. So it ended up being that, and then another thing, and then the plane ticket. And I was definitely sweating the minutes because I left a care package for him in London. He's like, I might be coming with the clothes off my back. And this was adorable. He was really afraid about how cold it was going to be in the UK, even though it's like still summer, basically. It's like September, but he was like, he's like, I've never owned a winter coat.
Yeah. I was going to say, isn't it like, where he's from is like the desert.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it does get cold there or whatever, but he was like really so I was like, oh, what are your sizes? I'll go shopping for you. And then I was like, wait a second. He can pick out his own clothes. Let's get him gift cards. And so I left a care package for him with gift cards. And I was like, if that gets picked up, this is the real deal, and I'll feel better about everything. Yes, and last week he arrived. He picked up the care package. He sent me photos. He had never been to London before. He found his dorm room. He is now settling in. I think he starts school today or tomorrow. And if people, by the way, are listening to this, and he's not completely out of the woods because he needs a job now.
Okay.
I gave him a little bit of extra so that he would not have $0 in his pocket when he was in the UK, but he's like really sweating it now. Like he needs to find work immediately. So if there's anyone out there that listens to us that knows anyone in Canterbury by University of Kent, wants to take a chance on what I would guess is like a pretty hardworking immigrant, and probably a legit hero, obviously, like who risked his life for American forces in Afghanistan. If you can do this guy, the only solid of giving him a job, right? Not even a handout.
Right.
I would love it if we could just push him.
You adopted an English interpreter.
I did. Yeah. It's really weird. Like, because I definitely, look, I'm not going to lie, I wanted out like several steps along the way.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're in pretty deep. Was it like his personality, the connection that you had with him personally, or was more so how you feel about, that war?
Like
and
the
that
follow
engagement?
through.
It had like, I feel awful about the war for sure. And look, I don't want to get too deep in the weeds about this. I feel like not being there is probably what was the best decision. The way it happened feels like, I don't know. The world sucks. Like there's like possible decisions to be made. And so I don't want to get too much into the weeds about that. However, do I feel bad for this individual person? Is this a fucked up thing to have happened to them? Do I wish I could do something? Yes. So I did.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be, look, I donate to people's Kickstarters, whatever, all the time. Like it's like, I don't think a week goes by that I don't do something like that because I'm so fucking lucky. Like
That's so sweet.
to be where I'm at with the limited amount of talent that I have is like fucking, I beat all the odds. So like part of the only reason I even want to be a thing, to be a well-off person or to be a person that is have some sort of level of notoriety is so I can do fucking awesome things for people.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do cool
What's
things.
like your like top ideally, like what's like the cause that you'd most like want to contribute to?
So to me, it's not even about causes. It's about like making someone's day. Like, do you ever hear that story about Keanu Reeves like buying the ice cream for the kid at the movie theater?
Yeah.
Like, I want people to have stories like that about me.
Yeah.
Like, I was out at a bar and I did shots with Joe Stapleton. Or
I mean, like you could do tons of nice things for them. We'll like spread it all around. Like
sure, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
if you
can
want to
make a
adopt us,
list.
like we'll start making a list. We'll like we'll kind of
We
like
should have a
leak
night
it.
out sometime. You
We'll
guys
leak
don't-
pictures of you just like showering us in gifts and stuff. And like he didn't even
would
know
make
that
great
it was
content.
recording. He didn't know. Like,
I'm gonna have to hear a sob story from each of you beforehand before we do that. Like,
we'll get back to we'll workshop a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't need that much time.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I can come up with.
We could
several.
we could take patches of hair out of your head for sure. Not mine.
you can take lessons
Can it
from
be
some of the
body
other
hair?
people.
Does body hair count? Because I can't.
You can take lessons from some of the other people in the poker world about how to concoct a yarn and get people to donate things to you.
Yeah, we could bleeding nipples is a story
that
going
one of
around
them?
right now. Yeah.
You're either very ill or a marathon runner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, no, we'll come up with something good
Okay,
for you.
great.
Really sellable, like something that you could be like, yeah, like she was clearly having a hard time.
Yeah.
Just
I have
take it
a
all
shallow
here.
vagina. Please help me.
How much? So you put it on credit cards and stuff. How much does the World Series of Comedy pay if you win, if you bank this whole thing?
I don't think it pays anything.
No?
I don't.
I thought there was like a prize.
There are many prizes in many comedy competitions. I believe the prize for this is work.
Oh, nice.
Is like feature work at
You get
clubs
to
around
work.
the country. Yeah. Which sounds ridiculous, but as you know specifically, I don't know if you've dabbled in stand up at all.
for like
but
10 years, but no, it's
Okay.
like not for
okay,
long.
so you also know then
Yeah.
that is the best thing that anyone would say.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go get $300 for the weekend. Yeah, sign me
I've
up.
made it.
Yes.
What I didn't like about it, I don't know if if you just love this part. The reason I decided to go more YouTube instead of stand up was because I don't like the touring, and that's where the most money is. So like the thought
That's
of
where the only
just-
money is.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was like, yeah, should I take this path where you could never leave? You don't have to leave your house. You film in your pajamas, and you can reach millions of people and like monetize, or work my ass off at open mics and have to do a waitressing job in between, and then like go tour to hopefully like provide income. So I ultimately chose YouTube, but I can understand why like I do miss like the live interaction with people, like
The
live
way you
interaction is
word
so
that,
fun.
like of
Yeah.
all the things YouTube had going for it,
Yeah.
makes perfect sense. I truly do like touring.
Yeah, that's why I opened with that. Like,
Yeah.
you might like that.
I
Part.
love OK hotels
Yeah.
and
Continental breakfasts.
continental
Yeah.
breakfast. And look, the thing about it is this: do y'all remember Oregon Trail, the game?
Yes,
Do you remember in the beginning of the
we
game?
are old.
Do you remember in the beginning of the game, you had to choose whether you were the banker, or the farmer,
Yeah, or
like
doctor.
it was a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember when you picked the banker? It was like really easy to play the game because you would go to the general store and just be like, I'll have fucking 800 pounds of bear meat and I'll take all the bullets you have and I'm going to pay the Indian to let me cross the river. That's what stand-up's like for me because I already have a career.
Yeah,
So I don't have to like pinch
do it for fun.
pennies on the road. So when I go get paid $600 to do a weekend in St. Louis and the trip costs me $1,000, I don't really care.
it's like break even.
It's not even break even.
I know.
Because
in your head, you're like,
Right. So
break even.
so I don't have to worry about making a living from it.
Yeah,
And I also get to, it's like a kind of a mini vacation for me. I'm like, oh, I get to walk around St. Louis today and just, I have no responsibilities until 6:00 tonight
yeah,
when I have to be at the club. And I just walk around and take in a new city.
Yeah.
Now,
That was kind of how my poker career started, was when I was like touring on the road with this burlesque show. And it's like, oh, we have a day off in Indiana. What are we going to do? And I would just find the nearest place to play cards and hustle for money because I was only making like $100 a day for the show. So
see, that's why I find a lot of parallels between poker and comedy, or like
Oh,
the
they're
lifestyles.
endless.
Yeah,
They're
like
endless.
the culture is like very similar.
similar culture. I always
male
say,
dominated, no one's getting laid.
yes, both
Everyone's
true.
depressed, but covering it with smiles and
True.
and adrenaline-
Everyone's lying about
adrenaline
the level of
rushes.
success they've achieved.
Your friends are also your competition.
Yeah.
When they're successful, you think to yourself, that should have been me. I mean, there is the comparisons are quite literally
if you have
endless.
a successful career outside of it, you do it for fun.
Exactly, and you're like, don't everyone's as honest as I am about being like,
Yeah.
hey, like I'm definitely at a net negative for comedy this year, and I'm very likely now my net negative is less, but like a lot of people that are independently wealthy don't tell people that like, oh no, I'm a losing poker player. I'm just on tour with everyone else. It's the same as comedy. It's all like,
Yep.
I'm particularly honest about it because I don't like feeling like a fraud.
Right.
I want people to know. Like when someone compliments my shirt, I'm like, it was $8. Like I'm that person.
You have to tell them that.
Yes.
I got the deals. Like this
I
is
ha-
a 2-for-1.
I have to confess. Yes.
Yeah, it's from Target. Target makes good shit, to be honest. Like can't tell the difference between high quality and low quality, so I go with the deal. And your shirt looks really nice today, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it brings out your eyes.
It does not look like an $8 shirt.
It does not look like an $8 shirt.
This
it looks
one
like
was an $8,
at
but you
least-
can
There's
tell-
no way that was
At
$8.
least 12. At
I'm
least-
gonna call bullshit.
You can tell by the way it has a hole in it, and I won't give it up. Like that's
Well,
that's how
your
you
own,
can tell.
That's your own behavior.
It was definitely anything over 50. I'm like, nah, that hole's gonna have to get at least dime size before I give it up. Yeah.
Wait, so you love touring life. Then do you have like are you married? Do you have a girlfriend? I'm guessing like not, right?
I'm not married. I have a saint of a girlfriend.
Okay.
Who is
Has to
very,
be.
very, very patient with me, and is the least cruel and annoying person that I've ever dated.
That's really cool to look for in a
Yes,
partner. Like
because
not
even when
cruel,
she's
not
mad at
annoying.
me, we like talk it out. It's over in 5 seconds. There's no like punishment. There's no like
yeah.
She's never given you the silent treatment.
no. And if so,
Nice.
it's maybe for like an hour when we're in the same house.
That's how I gauge like the health of a relationship is how fast is your conflict resolution,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the stuff that builds resentment is like when you feel like your partner's an
escalating.
enemy or like there's built up resentment and stuff like that. So does she come with you when you go to different events and tours and stuff for poker or for comedy?
She comes with me more often than I think most people in our situation would.
Yeah.
Comedy is a little bit easier. It's hard for her to come with me on poker stuff because I'm busy like
He's internationally known.
15 hours a day.
Yeah.
It's not fun for her to sit in a hotel room, even if it's in a beautiful place. So we don't see her on the poker stops as much because it's just so full on. And then even if we do get to spend time together, it's like, well, we got to go to work with this group of people. Sorry, go to dinner with this group of people. And then she's just kind of sitting there on the end waiting for people to ask her questions, which neither comedians nor poker players are good at.
Yeah.
No.
That's
By
so
the way.
true.
They're
We're
really good at
all
just
socially
ignoring
awkward.
the woman that you've brought.
Isn't it so funny how people think of comedians as like outgoing, extroverted people, and everyone's just an introvert and super socially awkward and only comes out on stage?
I'm one of the only ones that actually truly is an introvert. But yes, for the most part, comedians are very weird and difficult to talk to.
Yeah.
So she doesn't come with me a ton, but what is great is that I never get a text from her being like, why didn't you check in with me last night? Where were you? What did you do? Our last communication might be at 5, 6 p.m. And then I get busy doing stuff and I get in bed. And I'm like, I don't want to get into a conversation right now. And I just go to sleep. I text her the next morning.
How long together?
5 years.
That's great.
We just hit a 5-year mark. Yeah. So and she's awesome. She
Yeah.
just like puts
Keep
up with
her.
What's her
everything.
name?
Her name is Raquel.
When are you locking it down? I don't understand.
Yeah, what's
I'm not
going on?
I'm not a marriage guy.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not for me.
Okay, not a marriage. Okay.
Not for me. But
okay.
yeah, I
You
know
don't want
that.
to like legally tie yourself to someone forever?
Yeah, weird, right?
You don't
Weird
do
that I don't that piece of paper.
You get to have a really fun party. And
Yeah.
you get a ring. Well, I did, but you don't have to.
We're thinking of just lying to everyone and saying we're getting married because
Oh,
it's
yeah,
the
that
only way
works.
that people
Yeah.
Very
ever like
convenient.
drop everything.
Or just do a Taco Bell cantina here in Vegas. Like just do like a troll one.
The whole point would be that we want to get people who like always have an excuse not to come to our parties.
Yeah.
So wedding, you're just like, this is our wedding, you got to come. I
Perfect.
think they'll probably be pretty mad.
But
when
not
they
like
find out.
legally like have to
Yeah,
put
no,
deal with
just
it.
and
Yeah.
actually just confess halfway through and be like, just kidding, like we just want to have a party.
And we're keeping the toasters.
That's right. We're keeping every single gift. So yeah, not for me, the whole marriage thing. But look, I think she's the greatest, and that was really important to her. I said we could talk about it. So I'm even.
Oh, that's
I'm
nice.
even leaving the door open for that.
Wait,
but
you
I
guys
prefer
live in
not to
LA?
be. Yes.
Okay. Well, yeah, no one believes in marriage in LA. Do you have to travel when you go commentate for the UK events, or do you just dial in Zoom?
No, we're on the European Poker Tour is on location every single stop. We are
Really?
in it. Yeah. So I was just in Barcelona.
Nice.
I'm headed to Cyprus in a couple of weeks. First time EPT is going to be in Cyprus.
And this was Stars, yeah?
Poker Stars, that's
Yeah,
right.
okay.
Poker Stars EPT. Yeah, they're my daddy.
Because I watched
my
the like
mommy.
W Coop events and like the Scoop events and stuff, and
Those are from home. Yes.
Okay, I
Because
was
there's
never
nowhere
sure.
to go.
Right,
For
yeah.
those. We gotta go sit next
that's
to the
kinda
server
cool.
somewhere in the Isle of Man,
Exactly.
maybe.
I was like, this is rude if they just made them fly somewhere to just dial
Yeah,
in.
we call it the Poker Stars Arena, but it's in my house. Yes.
Okay. Do you have like a little setup that's
Yeah, we
specifically
got a
for that?
backdrop, like an actual like a tangible, touchable backdrop. No green screen for us.
Did you pick out all the little graphics and stuff that happened? I thought those were fun.
No, those I did not pick out. What's really weird is I used to have like a soundboard that I would
Yeah.
basically like a fart box that I would bring with me to the stops, and then one day they got lost. They got lost, and it turned out they just didn't want me using them anymore. But they like just that was their way of telling me. And then like 2 years later, now they put like goofy animations on screen too,
Yeah.
like because everyone's like, oh, it turns out maybe that wasn't the worst idea.
Yeah.
Turns out maybe having like a fun little sound effect to play every once in a while. My favorite was this sad violin that I would play as people were like doing walk-off shots. It was like this
I love that.
like old Russian like borscht music that like every time someone went broke, they were like walking away like this. So yes, no, I did not come up with those. Occasionally they'll like run one past me and be like, what do you think of this? But like my opinion doesn't. It wouldn't matter if I was like, I hate it. They'd be like, well, too bad. We just spent money on making it. So
That's funny.
yeah.
No, I think any little thing that like makes something that's like, you know how like watching football at home is kind of more entertaining than watching football in the stadium because you
Sure.
get all like the sound effects and the graphics and
Certainly poker
Yeah.
is like watching it live. Is,
yeah.
woof. You
Yeah.
got-
It's like watching golf.
That's why, I mean, you got to be financially invested to be able to watch live poker live,
Yeah.
like in person. Like, no, thank you.
Yeah, I agree. I wouldn't have hid your fart box.
Thank you.
Have you been partnered up with James so long that it's like y'all have a secret language and like a code together that it's almost like hard to adjust to doing commentary with anybody else when those opportunities arrive?
Yeah, definitely. It's yeah. I don't. I think code is maybe a little too flashy for what it is.
Okay.
We just like both understand the roles so well that there doesn't have to be a lot of communication between us, how to handle a thing, how to approach the day. There is sometimes a little bit of, yes, to your point, by the way, you are correct in that when there's other folks in there, especially people that come from the streaming world, streamers are used to talking nonstop. And so there is a little bit of a like bumping into each other a little
Yeah.
bit when it's like a streamer that's like wants to do both the play-by-play and the color commentary. and read player comments and read chat. And so that can be a little bumpy sometimes. But to everyone else's credit, what I will say is that I sucked at it for a really, really long time. And other people are, I'm not going to say they suck, but they're going to not be the eventual broadcaster they're going to be in the first couple of years.
Yeah.
It takes time to learn how to do those things. So I to answer your question, yes, James and I have been doing it. We've been doing it for over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Together for over 10 years?
Yes.
Wow.
Now, a lot of that time I was freelance, so I was working with other people here and there, and I would switch back and forth between being the lead or being the color. I did stuff like the GPI, Poker Night in America. I did some hockey shows in Canada where Jeremy Roenick was my co-host.
Okay.
I've done some weird stuff.
Is there anything else? Like anything else? What's the weirdest thing you've commentated?
The weirdest thing I commentated was, it wasn't really commentary. I don't even know if you can still find it on YouTube. It was a show called The Final Table, and it was me and Antonio and Phil Hellmuth.
Uh-huh.
And the crux of the show was that we were watching a final table, like a Heartland Poker Tour final table, I think maybe.
Okay.
And we would choose. Yeah, that was very
We're cute.
double mint gum. And then we were all like choose like a horse in the tournament, and when that person's horse went broke, you'd have to do some sort of humiliating stunt.
That's fun.
I kind of like
I love that.
It is fun, except it just doesn't really work as a concept because, like, what if all three of your horses are out in the first segment? Like, what do you do for the rest of the show?
Is that what happened?
So yeah, it wasn't exactly like thought through the best, and so now they're like looking through the records to be like, and now they're assigning us people, so we're not even really choosing the horses.
No, I like you guys choosing it because then you get to say why you chose.
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
it was just like kind of ill-conceived, but some of the stunts were like pretty incredible. Like Antonio lost one and he had to eat a raw frog leg, and he was this close
my
to puking
God.
on the desk, like
Yeah, I
this
couldn't do
close.
it.
He was like literally like
Even
tongue
just-
out gagging.
Thinking of that like makes me want to puke.
I could do it.
See, the thing is, raw was really weird because it smelled
Give me a
like.
frog leg right fucking now.
I mean, can we
Makes me
pause?
itchy.
I wish I just would have had the foresight to be like, oh yeah.
Oh, maybe this is how you get an illness, and we can get him to give money to our cause.
Ooh,
and stuff.
yeah. Don't
Sick
eat
from
my
frog leg,
frog.
salmonella.
Yeah, he challenged her to eat this frog leg.
Joe Stapleton victimized me.
Yeah.
He knew I would do it.
And he
He
saved
knew
her.
that just telling me that story would be enough. So that was a weird show. I don't know why I don't remember any of the other stunts. It didn't even. The final episodes we shot didn't even air.
I'm guessing you didn't have to do one because you
Yeah,
would probably
would they put you in
remember
a
something.
I
suit or
definitely
something?
had to do one. I just can't remember what it was, but I got off easy.
Yeah.
I got off easy, and I remember saying to them, Phil and Antonio are getting paid way more than I am. They're doing the rough shit.
Yeah.
Don't. I'm not making enough money for this.
You sacrifice.
Yeah, and so they actually listened
That's
to that.
funny.
I think maybe I had an egg cracked on my head. Like I think that was.
Okay, not
it.
as bad. Yeah.
No, not as bad, and I can't.
Were there any pain
I'd rather
ones?
eat the frog leg.
Ew, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm glad we're together because
Are you that hungry? I don't understand.
What?
She doesn't feed me, Joe.
So you also have a podcast that won
Yes.
the 2022 GPI award. Congrats.
With the crack research team. Very
yeah. I mean, I got page one.
good. Exactly. Like
I
right.
got all the gold.
Right there is right at the top. You don't even have to click the link. It's in the
Yeah.
summary.
I was like, this is enough. He helped a
yes.
guy in Afghanistan. He's got a podcast. So we'll wing it.
I got to ride this Afghanistan story as long as I can. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't plan on doing anything nice for anyone for a long time.
Yeah, we got to
after
open a
this.
library for you or something.
Yeah, where's
So, like,
I
there
need
should
a
be, like,
where's the
people
key to
can
the city?
remember.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Both cities. Every city mentioned in that story. Yes, my podcast called Poker in the Ears. James
Yes.
and I have been doing that for 8 years.
Wow.
A long time. We just today recorded episode number 285.
Okay.
Nicely
So
done.
how often do you release them?
Once a week, but we don't do it every single week.
I was gonna say
for
because
the year.
that doesn't add up to 8 years.
Yeah, I think we do something like
Doesn't because I'm past that and it's only
maybe
been 5 years.
Maybe it's
How are you not
7.
winning more in poker? That was some snap arithmetic, girly.
I'm good at math.
You have done more than 285 episodes of Aceholes already?
No. Shit, they don't tell you.
Wait, what?
Oh, my other podcast.
Shit they don't tell you.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Very good.
Yes.
Cool.
It's all the shit we wish they would have told us. They didn't tell us.
Oh,
So we had
that's
to learn
cool.
it the hard
What
way.
a cool concept.
Yeah, I'm plugging it right now. Go check out my podcast. Shit they don't tell you.
But they do tell you where their podcast can be found.
Yes.
Nikki
right?
has her greasy fingers in
In
so
everywhere.
many podcasts
Just
right now.
I'm the Keanu Reeves of No.
Yeah, so Poker in the Air is we recorded an
Yeah.
episode today. Hopefully yours doesn't get released before it because I just told the same Afghanistan story
Oh shit.
this morning.
When are
so
you releasing yours?
tomorrow. Ours comes out
We
tomorrow.
gotta release it today with Caitlin.
Well, OnlyFriends beat me to it also. My own story.
I'm the EP on OnlyFriends.
Which, I don't mind, but
Yeah.
I got tagged in the post. Nobody asked me a question about it. No one asked me to come
Well,
on the
I
show.
guess because I want to do on Aceholes, so I didn't want it to waste them all
Oh, okay,
on
fine.
OnlyFriends.
That makes sense.
Come to my
That's fine.
show.
Okay, that actually
Hello.
makes sense to me. So yes, we've been doing it a long time.
Oh, your
We-
erection finally went down. Thank God.
Yeah.
Actually, the thing is, it's like permanently stretched out my jeans is the problem. No, I was trying to cover up my belly, but it's so hot in here. I don't really know what to do. Do I want to sweat like a pig or
You're-
look like
you're
a pig?
Glistening. It's not a sweat. You glow. You're glittering.
Glistening.
You're glistening.
yes.
Yeah.
It looks like I've been jacking off.
You know what? Our podcast was almost called Jack King Off.
We really wanted it to be
Yeah,
Jack King
but
off.
someone already did that podcast, so we went with Aceholes, which in hindsight I'm pretty happy we went with Aceholes.
Yeah.
But
Did you know that up until recently, no one owned the domain King Jack Off?
well, no one. That's not catchy.
That's not.
King Jack Off?
Oh, King Jack. Okay, yeah.
I own it now.
Are
I
you trying to sell it?
own King Jack Off.
This is about to turn into an auction.
Yeah, I don't know if how many bids you'll get on it, but you know
I'm happy
what?
just to be King Jack Off.
Yeah.
No
took
one
me a
else wants
second.
it.
You have to pronounce it differently because it took me a second to put together.
Right. Well, I was saying like the poker hand. King,
Yeah, yeah.
King Jack Off is what you would say.
Yes.
For real. No one says Jack King Off.
Yeah, that's why. But it's yes. But
This is where
it's
this is our.
funny.
There's different schools of thought.
See,
on
you know
comedy.
what? We're in a writer's room now,
Right.
and
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shout louder than the woman.
yeah. So with Poker in the Ears, how do you when do you find time? Do you stockpile? How do you keep up?
We know every week because it's mostly recorded in the UK. Like most of the people involved are in the UK.
Yeah.
We start recording at 7 a.m. every Wednesday.
Oh my god, gross! I threw up in my mouth.
Yeah, 7 a.m. The hard part is getting guests. Because
Yeah.
our guests, basically, we can only take guests basically from like 8 to 9 a.m. West Coast time. So, getting someone during the World Series of Poker is damn near impossible. I'm like,
You're
hey,
welcome.
Hey, yes,
You're welcome.
yes.
I was one of those this
Caitlin
year.
did. You could tell who's the most attention hungry. Who's like, sure. I could do it. So we have guests, but what we've done of late is like when we started, we were like, we're not the Strat people.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all can relate.
Yeah,
We're not the
yeah,
Strat
no.
Poker podcast. And I'm like,
Did not want to be that.
we're not we can't really be the gossip podcast. Like, it's just not the Poker
It's
Stars
too-
brand. Right.
yeah.
It's just, we're kind of like, we're mostly having to, talk about Poker Stars stuff. So we're not like even the podcast that can have all of the pros on from everywhere else. Like, we're kind of in a tight window. And I was like, hey, here's something that I like doing anyway. We mostly just focus on like entertainment poker crossover.
Yeah.
So I end up having like a lot of my friends from LA who are actors and writers and directors and who like poker.
Right.
We have them on. We like talk about poker for 5 minutes, and then we're like, we got Aaron Sorkin on the show a couple years ago.
Nice.
So I was like,
love
hey,
Aaron
you
Sorkin.
directed Molly's Game. Like, let's talk poker for a second.
Oh,
Now I'm
that's cool.
like, now let's talk about West Wing for the next 25 minutes. Like,
Perfect.
so we kind of like that's the sort of area that we're trying to corner.
That's
Like,
cool.
so we had Michael Cera on a couple of, maybe like a year ago.
Oh my god, I love Michael Cera.
And so because we became friends during the pandemic, we had played in like 2 home games together.
I didn't know he played. I guess
During
that
the-
makes sense. He was in Molly's Game, but like,
Not only does he play, he's probably top 3 celebrities that I've played with like that understand the game.
I had a huge crush on him when I was like 20, 21.
Yeah. You were probably in LA at the same time because
Yeah.
they flew him out to being arrested when he was like whatever he was, 16 or 17.
Yeah, I mean, I was in LA for 15 years, so
Okay.
like, yeah, definitely, there's that block of time. But that's really cool. That I like that niche is great.
Yeah, so like we got him on the show, and then another person from that same home game. His name is Dustin Guy DeFay. Made an independent film, put Michael in it, and has poker scenes in it.
Nice.
So that guy was our guest today on the podcast, and the movie's called The Adults. If people want to go watch
The
it,
Adults?
The
Okay.
Adults,
Okay.
starring Michael Cera and a couple of young actresses whose names I do not recall off the top of my head because I'm an
Hannah
old man.
Gross, I think, is in that.
Hannah
no?
Gross is one of them.
I went
yes.
to acting school with her.
Okay, she's excellent, fantastic actor, and then the young lady from It. I don't remember her name, but she was super, super charming in It.
Yeah.
And is excellent in this movie as well. So, and there's like a couple of like fairly realistic poker scenes in it. So we're like, cool, there's a movie with poker in it. We're going to talk about it, talk to the director. Luckily, we were able to get him. So that's kind of where our thing is. Like it's a lot of like movie, TV talk, and then poker, we try to work it in where we can.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense why you would win that award.
It was fun. It was fun. And like, look, I really like the Global Poker Awards in general because I think that hopefully the people voting to understand that like the more people that win awards, the better.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I agree.
whoever's like the best personality probably isn't going to change that much from year to year. If you're the best personality one year, you're probably going to be the best personality the next year. But it is like
But it's better if there's
it's better
different.
if there are right. And so I'm glad that we got recognized, and I'm also glad that
I'm sitting with 2 GPI award winners. Oh my
Yes,
god, I'm
exactly.
like, I'm like
And
sub cool.
the thing, and I don't mean this in any demeaning way at all, but like hopefully it'll be your turn soon.
Fingers
right?
crossed.
Because I don't think there is a huge amount of difference between the quality of the poker podcasts out there, right? Like,
Yeah.
people might have their preferences, they might have their favorites, but it's not like there's one clearly like, God, this is the fucking best thing I've ever listened to in my life. So it is good to spread the love, and I'm glad that we got it one year. I'm glad that it was you guys who won it this year, right? The most recent one.
I won a Rising Star in Media.
Only Friends.
Oh, sorry,
Only
sorry.
Friends
Got
won.
the
Yeah,
best
that's what I
spot.
mean.
Yeah.
OnlyFriends. You're not an OnlyFriends person. You
No,
are
I just
the only
a
OnlyFriends.
bit after they won the award. I'm associated after.
She's not
I'm
associated
not
with their
associated with
clout.
winning.
Not a
And
lot
I'm
of-
not associated with winning
acclaim.
anything. Okay.
Kind of a lot of
So-
pressure coming in after winning a championship season, and now you're the new head coach.
Yeah,
There's nowhere
yeah.
to go but down.
I'm practicing my like happy to be nominated speech, where I'm like,
Right.
I'm just happy to be here. I don't know if I'm gonna win.
It's a hard category to make top 4. There are a lot of poker podcasts,
Yeah.
and only four
It is
make
difficult,
the
yeah.
nominees.
Yeah.
If I can't
So what
talk-
I love was that the Barstool one like didn't make the nominees, and it's by far the most listened to.
is it real? Well, because it's
It's a
not
Barstool
really-
property.
It's not
you
really
know?
in our
They're not our
Cracking
community
in our
or whatever.
industry, though.
Yeah,
Except for
stay out of there.
Mincy does help out. All right. Well, speaking of all the fun that we have together,
Yes.
we have a game for you to play, and I think this might help you if you want to do some some crowd work, some improv. We got a little improv game for you.
Okay.
And it's called Wrong Answers Only. I have put some I put some poker terms into this hat, and we're gonna go around and draw the terms out, and we're each gonna give a definition for this, but it is wrong answers only.
Okay.
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 You draw the first term.
Draw the first term and go first, or
Yeah,
leave it
and you get to
guys?
go first.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Pass that along.
Yeah.
Back jam.
What does back jam mean?
Yeah, what does that
Back
mean?
jam is actually something you get at the pharmacy in order to like a hair remover. It's a depilation.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's back jam, and sometimes you have to get someone to rub back jam on for you.
And what does it feel like?
Is it flavored?
It's like it is, yeah, but it's menthol. So
oh,
it's weird.
like kind of like
yeah.
Vicks, but like off-brand.
Exactly. It's like an off-brand Vicks, which takes off all the hair on your back as well as the first layer of skin.
Ooh, I need the hair off
In
my
most cases.
back to go.
I could buy you as having back hair. I can see that. That's like that story checks out. Yeah, I can see that.
Mine is nut flush. That's what happens when you you had a successful date and you copulated your love, and the gentleman will place the nuts on the female face, and she becomes shy, so she gets a little flush.
She's
Oh,
flush?
wow, all right.
Because
Oh.
she's so excited about the nuts on her face.
In my town, it's when he flushes he nuts and he flushes it.
he flushed out
Yeah,
the nut?
yeah, but it's just a different area of town.
Oh, okay, yeah,
I
it's a
feel like-
regional term.
It's a regional thing, yeah.
Yeah, in my region, it's when you have a night like you just described, but you don't have enough time before your next date to go home, so you just go to the bathroom and just
flush it.
splash one of these.
Yeah, yeah.
Have yourself a
Toilet.
nut flush. Yeah.
So the next one can't sense
Exactly.
it.
You don't want to
idea.
smell another woman on you.
No.
That's a
that would be
death sentence.
ungentlemanly,
And
unchivalrous.
we can tell.
No, yeah.
I can
obviously.
always tell when a guy has recently nutted inside of someone else. Every time.
It happens a lot. It's
Like,
never
more than
enough.
you think.
Yeah.
More
Just from
than
the,
you
just from the
think.
smile on his face.
All right, my term is donk-a-lead. So this is super obvious for everybody.
sure,
I'm
for
sure you guys already know, but it's
Totally.
Heard of it.
it's like when a guy leads with his donk. Like it's like the
Walking into a room, right?
first-
Donk first.
Yeah, donk first,
Right.
and he's like, "Hey," and it's a confidence kind of thing, but everyone's kind of like, "That guy's weird. That guy's pretty weird."
That's weird because in my town, it's when a comedian / broadcaster holds a pillow over his erection for the length of a podcast.
That's
a donk lead.
The donk lead, yeah, I've heard that.
I was gonna go way weirder. When you have like a donkey role play fetish and you're being led around with a bit in your mouth.
That's only legal in Mexico.
That's right. That's what the donk lead show is.
Yeah.
All right. Oh boy, how do we go A to C on this one? This is a backdoor draw. This is, let's try to go not super obvious here. A backdoor draw is actually so you're aware of like when men have like pissing contests or dick swinging contests.
Yeah, men always do that, I heard.
Yeah, this is a version of a dick swinging contest where two men claim that they could beat each other in a foot race.
Okay.
And what they do is they do a race around the building, and the first one to the back door is the winner. But what happens is occasionally there's a backdoor draw.
There's a tie.
Yeah, there's a tie,
Ah.
and that's a backdoor draw. But the thing is, you think the draw is the tie, but it isn't. Then they take out pistols and shoot each other. So it's actually a
They go
different
into overtime,
It's
yeah.
a different draw. The draw isn't the tie. It's the actual
Draw,
one of these.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
I think that's my favorite scene in Hamilton, actually.
yeah.
the backdoor draw.
Backdoor
Yeah,
draw, yeah.
totally. It was a good one.
I thought it was a real estate thing because, like, when I was looking for houses, there were like front door draws where it was like, this has curb appeal when you drive up, and then there were the back door draws was like, okay, don't look at the front so much. The draw is like way back here.
It's got a pool. It's got a hot tub.
Yeah,
it's the
we're
backdoor
like,
draw.
The
Oh,
bird
yeah.
feeder.
Yeah.
I'm very drawn to this back door.
Look at this slide. This is a backdoor draw.
That's alluring.
honestly,
drawing me in.
My sliding glass door is so bad. I get envious when I go to people's houses and it glides. I'm like so pissed at them. I'm like, should have been me. It's like when people get,
Yeah, lube that shit
get
up.
a good job. I'm like, I don't care. But when they got a good back door, I'm like, should have been me.
Backdoor
Yes,
draw.
Drawn.
draw.
This is fold equity. So fold equity is when I'm making my bed and the guy is still asleep in it and I get to leave before he wakes up and I don't have to confront the bad decisions that I made last night. So that is my fold equity.
You get to get on with your day. You get some of your day
Yeah, I
back.
just
Yeah.
fold him on in there.
Yeah.
So just like,
Hold it.
yeah, sometimes I'll even smother him with a pillow. And then
That pillow?
I don't think we can ever use that pillow
Can I
again.
tell you a way to get out of this, by the way? Because
Okay.
the way I used to do was this: is I had tandem parking at my apartment.
Okay.
So I would have them pull their car behind mine, and then I'd be like, "Hey, I got a training appointment. I gotta go to the gym. I got an appointment at the gym. You gotta let me out.
They bought
You
that?
gotta let me out of the garage." Yeah, they believed it. Can you believe that? And then they would pull out of the garage, and I would pull out of the garage behind them. But then I would just drive around the block and pull back into my parking spot, and then
Use
go
the
back
back
to
door.
bed. Yeah,
Backdoor draw.
the back door
Yeah.
draw. Exactly. Yes. Just you can have that if
Yeah.
you
Thank
want
you.
it. Yeah,
That's
you
a
can have
good.
that.
That you need to get tandem parking first.
Yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be hard in my building. We'll figure it out.
You have to park. No, trust me, you gotta park like
You
that.
gotta park vertically behind me.
Exactly. There's nowhere else. Not in the whole state of Texas. The most ample parking state
Right.
in the union.
They have street cleaning 7 days a week. I'm so sorry. You have
You
to
gotta
park
go.
here.
You gotta bounce.
It was like 5 tickets when you guys wake up. All right. This one is button squeeze play. Okay. Yeah. I mean, this is really easy.
Commonplace.
as well. Yeah, commonplace in every sewer's kit. Like they have their buttons and they gotta squeeze them and play with them a little bit to see, is this a good button or is this button gonna fall apart? Like if I put it on a coat.
Like fruit, like picking out fruit. Like they gotta give it a
Like
little
the avocados.
squeeze play. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's smushy, throw it out. It's you
Yeah.
miss the
It's
window.
not gonna handle the
And
winter.
a lot of people don't know that buttons have a window either. Like they think good to go.
That's news to me. Yeah. No, I'm so glad I did this.
They have an expiration date, and I mean, you wouldn't know unless you were kind of like in the industry of
Sure.
sewing. And I just have
Yeah.
a cousin.
How is your squeeze play?
I'm not good at. I always pick bad buttons.
Okay.
Like my clothes are
You're
falling
You're
apart.
pretty bad at squeeze plays.
Yeah.
She doesn't have the seamstress gene.
No,
which you really
no.
need.
I mean, I shop
Button squeeze
at
plays.
Ross sometimes, and it just. I think what ends up there are just all the bad buttons that
Maybe you haven't even squeezed a good button.
I don't think I
It's
have.
been a while. Yeah.
And like honestly, I don't know if I have the palette in my fingers to like tell the difference.
It's just all the
Yeah,
same.
your finger pads are too calloused from all of the
Yeah.
hard labor in the
That-
fields that you've done with
Do
your
a lot
Filipino
of editing,
people.
like a lot
Sure,
of mouse
yeah.
clicking,
Yeah,
a lot of
so
typing. So
the
not
fingers of
for
a
you, yeah.
craftsman.
yeah, I just wouldn't know. I've squeezed a lot of buttons and I don't know if they're good or bad.
So that was you, button squeeze play.
Yeah.
Okay. Where is it gonna take us now?
So
All right.
dumb.
Limping.
So we gave you the dumbest game because we knew you could handle it.
Limping. Limping.
It's like probably what's
I'm
under
gonna
the
do
pillow
that.
now. It's like,
Yeah, I was trying not to totally expose myself with that one. Limping, yeah. Limping does happen to men my age, who have seen a lot, who have
how old is that?
kind of lived let's just say early to late 40s.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
After
not
that age,
it's not the years, it's the
all the same.
mileage. You know what I mean? So we are limping around from time to time, limping from the bed to the couch, from the couch to the bathroom. Maybe, every once in a while we'll pick up a pill at a gas station and the limping goes away for 3 to 5 days.
It's just so
And,
hard as a
It's not hard.
a woman in her
it's limp, yeah.
30s and 40s to find a non-limper guy. They're just also ran through. They're limping around.
Exactly.
you know?
Loose, I believe the word is. Yeah, things have gotten
Maybe
kind of
you
loose
should
down there.
Drink so much whiskey and have
Maybe
a
if there
better
wasn't so
time.
much
Years doing
pressure on me to
cocaine.
stop limping.
Yeah, by the way, I gotta move my car, so if you could just move your car.
All right. Check raise frequency. So this is what happens when you're on a first date and it's going really badly and you don't want to let the guy pay because then he'll have an expectation of either seeing you again or sleeping with you. So what you do is you raise the check up into the air frequently at the waitress so that she knows that she got to wrap it up.
gotta
I gotta
Right.
tell you, this one
That's
time I was
check
on a
raise.
date and the young lady, her check raise frequency was like 4.5. She was like 4, I was like, I got it, it's fine. You can please take care of this, and it was nice meeting you. Yeah, check raise frequency is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's devastating, but it's like probably a good way of letting someone down gently.
I had a check raise frequency so high the other day, I didn't even make it to the drink order. I left him after 10 minutes.
Wow.
She prepaid
did.
before the check was even
Yeah,
there.
you like 6-bet that.
Yeah, I was all in pre
Yeah.
with that
Keep
motherfucker.
the change.
All right. SPR stands for stop penis removal. Okay? Like, just stop doing that.
I need one.
We like them.
We like it when it's there.
It's nicer on you.
I don't think I've ever been
And
on a
off
show
you.
before where the hosts were more obsessed with penises. And including the ones where the guys are obsessed with their own.
You put it in the ether, and now it's there in our subconscious to be.
To be clear, I didn't put my
yeah.
penis anywhere.
You
The
rubbed,
ether or otherwise.
you rubbed
It's
your penis in the
safely
ether.
secured
Stapes,
under this small dog.
You came into Aceholes and rubbed your penis all over the ether.
Can't help it.
At least you didn't remove it. Okay? 'Cause
Yes, we have to
I'm
stop penis removal.
staunchly
I agree.
against
Penis removal.
We thought that was the
now.
answer. We thought that maybe penis removal would have fixed
Well,
things, but it turns out it didn't work.
Because the patriarchy, like, what's the common denominator? Okay, they all have penises. What if we removed them? I get the thought, guys,
It's not going to fix
but
misogyny.
it didn't fix anything. So stop.
Stop penis removal.
Stop penis.
Especially because we
Stop
didn't know what
it.
to do with them after.
Yes, we're stocked up. The
a
ocean,
huge-
Stockpiled.
yeah, the
Huge
land,
pile of
warehouse.
the
penises.
landfills are filling up.
There's a floating
There's a
penis
barge.
heap the size of Texas in the Pacific right now. And we have to stop.
And they're just limping their way from
Choking
continent
sea
to
turtles.
continent. That's right. They can't tell the difference between a dick and a dick straw is the problem. All those bachelorette parties, which, by the
Take
way,
us
is this
home.
straight from
One more-
Nashville or?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
from
Is it the
San
last
Antonio.
one? Okay, last one here is real-time assistance. This is something that helps with the limping.
Yes.
Actually, you have someone either over Zoom or just a small earpiece, just giving you
Ghosting, if you will.
Exactly, it's sex ghosting, and they just sort of say, well, "No, not there. No, that's not a good noise. I'm gonna need you. Look, if you keep up like this, you're gonna raise the check raise frequency. It's gonna be through the roof.
So they're like,
If you don't."
they're like that one YouTube channel. What's that YouTube channel? The dude perfect.
I don't know it.
Like,
You might as well be saying to me like, "What's the what's up with fidget spinners?" I'm like, I'm too old. I don't watch
Or
things.
how
on
about
YouTube.
the movie Hitch?
Yes, Hitch.
Okay,
sure.
there you go.
Cyrano de Bergerac. How about that? Anyone? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, we can
With the
read a
nose.
book.
He's got the nose, right?
Well, in the movie,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, but
No,
in
in
the
the
play,
play.
yeah.
Right, sure.
Don't talk to a theater kid about
Okay, sorry.
the
Excuse me.
I've had
movie.
more sex with gay men than you will ever.
And- right.
And that is a
Don't
flex.
try to talk to me about Cyrano de Bergerac or Shakespeare because I've learned.
And you need to stop.
You
Penis
penis
removal.
removal.
I'll be limping away from this conversation after being emasculated like this.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on
you.
Aceholes. We really welcome your presence, and thank you for saving in Afghanistan and English interpreter man.
Afghani.
Yes, we will be coming to your show tonight.
Yeah.
That's very kind.
Did you know
Thank
that?
You so much.
We already bought tickets.
Yeah, Caitlin sort of. I did know until she sort of asked
Spoilers.
Andre if he was coming tonight, and
Okay.
I was like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
cool." So I appreciate that very much. And if I can, really quick, you all are taking the poker world by storm.
Oh, thank you.
People love you. I've listened to your commentary, and I think you're a great duo. I think you're both very talented, and I'm happy to have you on the scene. And I'm fans, and I'm honored to be on your show because I think y'all are some rising stars
Aw.
in the poker world. So I'm very happy to be here.
That's
And,
really sweet,
yeah.
Stapes.
Yes.
You're gonna make
I'm a
us
fan.
cry.
Yeah.
Also, we're gonna use that footage for like when they're deciding the nominees for.
Yeah.
So thank
It's
you.
like
for, it's a
Aceholes, and then it's
little
just me
reel.
talking about how great you are.
Endorsements from previous winners. No, where can they find you though if they want to keep up with the most common, the most up to date Stapes news?
Thank you. So as long as we're on the subject of my domain names, I also own the domain
King Jackoff. It's up for sale.
King Jackoff, yes, but I don't even want to sell it. I just want to be King Jackoff.
Okay.
I couldn't get stapes.com.
Why?
It's like being squatted.
What the heck?
But I did get stapes.com.com.
Oh.
So you just type out
Meta.
stapes.com.
.com.
And so
Nice.
that tends to have my schedule on it. Twitter, I still have very much a love-hate relationship with Twitter. I will warn people now, I'm not super entertaining on Twitter. Every time I tweet a joke, I'm like, it's so stupid. Why did I even do this to myself? I can just tell it on stage where people fucking laugh and not
Yeah.
tell me all the reasons why my joke is a lie or all the loopholes to my joke or how I'm being insensitive to male massage therapists in my joke. I'm not super
Male
entertaining.
massage
It's mostly, I did a tweet during the World Series. Like I had the worst day one ever. And I was like, well, I just realized no matter how bad my day is here at the World Series, at least I'm not the male massage therapist. And there was one person who was like, that male massage therapist worked just as hard as everyone else to be there. How do you think that? And I'm like, dude, I was commiserating with the male massage. They're like, what could I? So
it's so odd because Twitter is such a nice place. You know?
yeah,
Like,
so I don't really
it's
tweet
just-
that many
yeah.
jokes
Bastion
anymore.
of positivity.
Yeah.
It's either mostly informational or mostly me raging about some injustice in the world. So if you can tolerate that, please do follow me on Twitter. I'm very kind to everyone, though. Anyone wants to interact with me, I'm always writing back to people or whatever. So that's where to get my schedule, to know what's going on in Poker Stars as well, the EPT live broadcasts or whatever things are coming out for Poker Stars. And then I'm on Instagram at InstaStapes. So
Ooh.
at Stapes on Twitter and at InstaStapes on Instagram. Thank you.
I like your astronaut profile picture.
I love that. That
Yeah.
photo is so old
Where's
at this
that
point.
from?
So I had an Australian girlfriend briefly, and I took her on a road trip across America, and I was like, Mississippi Space Museum? Like, of course we're stopping here. And they just had this astronaut suit you could step into just from the back and get a photo. So I was like, obviously, this is going to be my Twitter profile picture for the next 11 years.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for being on. Go follow Stapes on all of the platforms.
Poker in the Ears podcast.
And Poker in
as well.
the Ears. Go
The James
listen to
Hardigan.
it right now. I mean, now that our episode's done, you could go over
Now
there
you have some
and-
free time.
and listen to it. And we're gonna go cheer for Joe at the World Series of Comedy. Hopefully, you fucking win. Let's go.
I'll be very happy to get through this round.
How many days?
So if I get through today, then there's 2 more days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're looking for a bag today.
Yeah, we got
Let's
Gotta
go.
get that
Exactly.
bag.
Gotta get the bag.
All right. Thanks, kids.
Yes.
All right.
Bye.
Aceholes with Nikki and Caitlin.